Welcome to Rants and Rabbit Trails.
Welcome.
I'm your host, Pearl.
And I'm your host, Morgan. And yeah, this is our podcast that we decided to do a few months ago, just out of the blue. I'd always thought a podcast would be sort of a fun thing to do, and
they asked me about it because I had a short-lived podcast myself with one of my other friends, and I was basically like, you want a partner?
I was like, I think this would be kind of a cool thing to do, and you're the only person I know that has some sort of experience with this. So,
and I was like,
what are your thoughts?
We kind of were just like, what should it be about? Random shit, probably.
Yeah,
because that's kind of our thing.
Yeah, we both like spooky, scary
skeletons.
Spooky, scary skeletons. Yeah, definitely. Odd stories, weird happenings, things like that. So that's probably mainly going to be what we're going to do, is just tell each other's stories. So far we've just found random things and taken notes individually to be like, oh, I want to write a story about that, or like research that and share with Pearl, or
when you dive down those rabbit holes and you're like, I really need someone to talk to about this that gives a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And we're both neurodivergent, both autistic, ADHD. So
we have a lot in common.
Yeah, and like finding a little, or creating a space to share about hyperfixations with somebody that works the same way as you do, or like can understand all of that. You don't have to have a mask. You can just sit with a pal
here,
talk about stuff that you think is rad. So
heck yeah.
So that's been sort of the hope for Rants and Rabbit Trails, and hopefully it can be sort of a hangout spot in that way for you too, if you want. So thanks for being here.
Like random stuff, and you're a little maybe autism yourself, maybe a little ADHD. You'll know.
Yeah. We'd appreciate if you stick around and just hang out with us for a little bit, and if you want to continue to do so, that'd be rad too. So
heck yeah.
Welcome. Today our theme is gonna kind of be like haunted places, spooky places.
Got a couple spooky locations for you.
Yeah, that we're gonna share. So do you want to share first, or
I can go first if you want.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about a great interest of mine. Sarah Winchester / the Winchester Mystery House.
Bob.
I've been obsessed with this place since I first heard about it on a podcast years ago, and I actually ended up visiting there, I think in 2020. I was in the area, and I was like, oh, you know what's in San Jose? A spooky little house. And it was the best. I mean, if you like old houses, if you like spooky things, you should check it out.
That'd be so cool.
I guess I'll just get into it.
I'm pumped. Okay.
So Sarah Winchester was born in 1839 in New Haven, Connecticut. She was the fifth of 7 kids. She was raised with progressive, for the time, beliefs, and spent time around a lot of, quote, free-thinking people.
All right.
They kept saying that, and I was like, I really want to know what that means in an 1839 perspective.
Yeah, like in that time period, what does that mean?
And her family was also like upper middle class, so the children were like well educated and,
Okay, smart queen.
By 12, she had learned Latin, French, Spanish, and Italian. Bitch.
What's up with all these like You ever see videos of like 8-year-olds absolutely shredding it on a guitar or something, or like just being absolute geniuses? I'm
Prodigy
like,
vibes.
I'm 24. Like, what? I don't think I'm a professional at anything.
I'm a professional at things I don't want to be a professional.
Like, I'm good at a lot of things.
I'm not great.
I am not
at many things.
A professional at any of them, though.
And that's fine. Honestly, I would say we're jacks of all trades.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, she was fucking smart. She did very well in all of her studies, but was particularly good at music, math, and sciences. She was good at music.
Good at music.
She also attended what was at the time the only program at Yale that allowed women.
Damn.
The Young Ladies Collegiate Institute.
Oh my god.
Shut your fucking mouth.
The Young Ladies.
So, in September of 1862, she married William Wirt Winchester, whom she had likely known since she was a child.
Wait, his initials were WWW?
.com. Why did I never notice that?
William Wirt Winchester.
Also, Wirt.
Wirt.
W-I-R-T.
I thought that you said Wart at first.
Wart.
And I was like, if it was the 1800s, I wouldn't be surprised if that was
the kid
name.
had a wart when they were born.
We'll call that one Wart.
So, at this time, his father was a part owner of a shirt manufactory, and William was kind of being prepped to take that over. In 1866, after losing multiple of their family members, Sarah and William welcomed a baby girl, Annie, which they had named after a recently passed relative, but Annie had a rare condition, and she passed away just 1 month later.
Oh my god.
Which is just tragic, because obviously losing a child anytime is tragic, but like especially because they had just lost so many of their family members. It was like that same year, William's father moved on from the shirt business into the next obvious step, the firearm business.
The natural progression of, career choices.
Guns. It's all the same.
I can see the link.
Matter.
That's a thing. That's also a thing.
Mm-hmm. Everything's a thing. He had taken over a company that was failing, and thus the Winchester Repeating Arms Company was born. Soon after, William became the treasurer. It had great success, and the family got really rich.
Yeah.
They were some of the richest people in the world at the time.
Damn!
This was just like the right time to come out with these fucking guns, I guess. A lot of this was in part to the production of their Winchester 73 rifle, which became known as the gun that won the West, which
is it winning if you're using a gun? Or is it just...
Exactly. It's like, leaves a little bit of a stinky taste in my mouth. But
more like conquest.
During this span of time is when Sarah learns how much she loves architecture and interior design, and she gets to practice with her husband on like some of their family members' homes, just like absolutely decking them out.
Creative,
rich
queen
vibes only.
Love it.
In 1880, Oliver, William's dad, dies, leaving the company to William. But William is already sick, mad sick, with tuberculosis.
Not the TB.
And so he had already been sick for a while, and he ends up passing away the next year.
God.
Yeah.
This girl.
I know. So Sarah is left an inheritance of $20 million and a 50% stake in the company. $20 million. At
that time?
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh my god.
So, legend says that a grieving Sarah Winchester thinks she's being cursed and haunted by the victims of the Winchester rifles.
Right, because she played a huge role in that.
She was basically the one who invented all those guns.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
And so apparently she sought out a medium in the Boston area that told her she needed to move out west and build a house to appease the spirits. In reality, some of her family lived in California already, and also her doctor probably recommended her to move to a warmer climate because she had really bad rheumatoid arthritis. She was also the person in her family with the best means to afford moving across the country. So she was like, you know what? My family lives over here. I'm going to move over here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to build my own house because I like designing shit.
Yo, but if it was spirits, like, I don't know. If I died and I had never gotten the chance to, like, build a dream house, do you know how funny it would be? I was just like, I'm haunting you. The only way to appease me and to get me to go away is to move to this beautiful place, build this giant house for me, and then we'll talk.
Excuse me? Yeah, the ghosts are like, ma'am, I need an estate. So, for some reason, a lot of the dubious legacy of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company and their hand in the brutalization of natives by white settlers ended up kind of like, a lot of people blamed Sarah for it because she was pretty much the only one left to blame.
Right.
Even though she was like, I literally was
like everybody I loved
expecting to become married to a guy who was owning a shirt factory.
Yeah.
So y'all can fuck off. So she moves out to the Santa Clara Valley in California and buys an unfinished 2-story, 8-room farmhouse in San Jose, supposedly on about 40 acres. Can you imagine? At first, she hired a few architects, but she didn't really like the way they were doing stuff, and they weren't really, like, letting her do what she wanted to do. So she said, you know what? Fuck y'all.
Fuck out.
And she hired a team of builders instead. And she was like, I'm gonna do the blueprints.
Yeah.
Even though I have no real idea how to build a house, I still say it's a sleigh.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it yourself. If you want it done right, do it yourself.
Exactly. She said, you know what? I'm taking matters into my own
I'm
hands.
surrounded by idiots.
Which, as she should. It's like, everyone in her family fucking died, and she doesn't...
Yeah.
She just wants her cool house. So, instead of creating a master plan for the house, she basically comes up with it little by little. She, like, draws little drawings on scraps of paper and basically gives it to the builders and is like, build this. Which is just great.
She's proactive. She's multitasking.
She's like, this doesn't need to be figured out right now, man.
Honestly, I feel it though. Like you're walking around, you're like, oh god, I gotta write this down. You just grab whatever you can.
Write that down. Actually, no. Start building that right now
before I forget.
So because of that, that's one of the reasons why the house has such a crazy layout. There's rumors that her crew worked in shifts nonstop so that there would always be something being built, you know, for the sake of the curse and whatnot, the spirits. But this just isn't true. There's documentation of Sarah calling work off for months at a time. She also had multiple other properties, so she wasn't even living at that house most of the time. But, like, even when you go to the Winchester house, like, they ham up the story about the spirits and kind of feed into the whole, like, she was a crazy old lady. Yeah. Like, they definitely have a lot of love and respect for her, but at the same time, I'm like, if
a legend like that's gonna bring in more money.
Yeah, so. Exactly. I'm like, I get it, but I'm like, I feel like we could respect her a little bit more.
Do a little more research, maybe.
She was crazy. By 1895, the house had become large enough to draw much speculation from residents and visitors of the area. And the San Francisco Chronicle put out an article perpetuating a lot of the rumors that she was a crazy old lady who would never stop building for fear of death. They even tell you that she held nightly seances in a seance room to commune with the ghosts and learn how they wanted her to build the house. Some sources say that this room where she would do the seances was actually just the gardener's room. So that may or may not have been true. I would love to believe there were nightly seances, personally.
Yeah.
Some sources... Oh, whoops. I would also like to point out that she was noticeably absent from the spiritualist community of the area, and spiritualism was pretty big at the time. So had she been into that jazz, she likely would have been involved in some capacity with other spiritualists in the area, and she wasn't. So make of that what you will. By 1900, the house is 7 stories, pretty much a labyrinth at this point, complete with a bell tower, and of course, there's rumors that the bell tower was used to call in the spirits.
She's like, dinner time! Ding,
like,
ding, ding.
I don't understand why she would want to call in more spirits. Like, the story's confusing, but...
Yeah.
Whatever.
If anything, like, use it to ward spirits away or something. I
Right?
don't know. Like,
In its height, the house had 500 rooms.
holy shit.
500. Features of the house now. It's 24,000 square feet. It has 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 160 rooms, 52 skylights, 47 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys, which I'm like, fireplaces, 47 fireplaces and 17 chimneys. I'm not gonna get too curious about that. 13 bathrooms and 6 kitchens.
Whoa. I don't even have one full kitchen right now.
Right? Like 52 skylights? Give me one. I just want
I
one.
love a skylight. That's insane.
I said, now if this lady were in my town, you best believe I would be awestruck.
You best believe it.
And Sarah was very, very private, so it kind of just like, you know, when there's something crazy, like, you know, this really interesting house and a lady who won't say anything about it, people are gonna be in the fucking 1900s when there's nothing else going on besides gossip.
Like, did you see Sarah?
Yeah, so
over
the
there?
rumor just kind of went haywire,
Oh,
and
God.
newspapers releasing articles doesn't help.
Mm-mm. This poor
Unlike-
lady.
Yeah, I know. She just wanted to be a homebody.
Same.
Unlike most of the other posh society in the Bay Area, Sarah preferred to be at home, spending time with her cherished loved ones and with her crew at the house, like her construction crew, / all her maids and that kind of thing, which she had kind of created a little bit of a family within them, which is really sweet.
It's really sweet.
And she paid them really well and like
Family.
housed them on the property, built houses for them.
What a G.
Paid them more than like anybody else was paid in the area.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so the way I see it, she had experienced a lot of pain. She was sick, like physical pain and mental pain, you know, losing all these people. And she was putting her grief into this just kind of like continuous art project, which...
Yeah. Creative outlet. I mean, if you're that
Now-
filthy rich
if
at
I
that
had like
time.
so much money, if I was one of the richest ladies in the world, you best believe I'd be building myself a labyrinth, at least now.
Yo,
Now
you
that
know
I
how cool that'd be? Like, move out into the forest, be a cottage witch, but, like, filthy rich at the same time.
Yeah.
And, like, create a labyrinth.
Who doesn't want their
People,
own
like,
labyrinth?
if they try to find you, you're like, leave me alone.
Create rumors about me, bitch.
And then they just get lost.
Me gets lost in my own labyrinth.
Same.
It would surely happen. Anyway, her employees, the way they spoke about her, I think says a lot because in today's terms, she barely had any turnover. Like, she just kept these employees for years and years and years. Like
Damn.
I said, she paid them far better than other people in the area were making. And a lot of people think that because there were times of like really, like when the economy was really bad, she kind of just kept the building going for the sake of keeping her employees paid and housed, which is like
gosh.
so cool. So yeah, a lot of Sarah's designs for the house were meant to make the lives of herself and her housekeepers easier. She built washboards into the sinks, which was ahead of its time.
Damn.
She built rounded corners in like the edges of the stairs and corners that would be hard to sweep. She also had a watering system that would take the excess water from the indoor plants and funnel it outside to water her garden. Can you believe?
Oh my gosh.
She was
Like,
fucking
I want all these
making-
things.
I know. And like, she loved plants, which I just love. She had a bunch
Yeah.
of indoor and outdoor plants. She had certain stairways built to accommodate her arthritis, as normal steps were really painful for her to walk up. So she had, like, they were just tiny little steps that would like wind up and down, which I thought was cute.
That's smart.
She also
That
had
could
an
be smart.
area with like 4 fireplaces where she would close up the doors and heat the whole place up to help her arthritis, which just sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Many odd things about the house, such as doorways to nowhere, staircases leading into a wall, are not due to the popular rumor, about the ghost in the labyrinth.
Oh, the ghost is gonna fall through the door.
People were like, it was to confuse the ghosts. I'm like,
bitch,
I don't think ghosts are that fucking stupid, but anyway. But in reality, multiple of the top floors literally just crumbled in due to earthquakes. And they were like, she was like, I'm too fucking old for this. Seal this shit off where it's dangerous. And like, let's just ignore that.
That's too logical of an explanation, Pearl.
Right. This poor woman. Yeah, during the earthquake that finally did like collapse in some of the floors, because there was other earthquakes before that like almost did some damage, but for being built in the 1900s, that shit was stable. But yeah, during that earthquake, which was the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, she got trapped in one of the rooms and had to be rescued. Somebody had to wrench that door open.
Bring the jaws of life.
Literally. Author and historian Mary Jo Ignoffo, who wrote a book about Sarah that I want to read, said that probably in part to her age and maybe partly because of the embarrassment and the lack of stability of her architecture, in addition to all the shitty rumors about her that already existed, she just decided to seal that shit off and say, you know what, we're gonna call it a day on building more floors on my ginormous mansion.
Damn.
So yeah, in 1922, she died in her sleep of heart failures, and of course, heart failure. And of course, there are rumors that when workers got the news of her death, the round-the-clock workers that we hear about, they stopped hammering nails midway through the wall. Okay. Sounds real. The next year, John and Mamie Brown moved into the estate and tried to make a theme park out of it. Because public interest in the house itself was so much greater, they dropped the theme park idea and opened the house up for tours. During this time, OG tour guides that have since passed said that the owners did not push a paranormal story at all during that time, nor were the tour guides trained to do so, which is very interesting.
Just kind of like walked people through, was like, this is a weird thing.
This was a crazy,
Look at this crazy house.
Right. It seems like after these owners died and it was passed on to their children, the whole this place is fucking haunted thing really came to fruition. They kind of juiced up those rumors. That was when it really started being like hammed up for money's sake. There's a bunch of things they'll tell you about the house and that you can find online, such as that she was obsessed with the number 13 and that there's like a ton of things in the house that there's 13 of, 13 windows, 13 window panes, shit like that. But this was just, a lot of these things were added afterwards.
Ugh.
I'm like, okay, yeah. So that's about it.
These people.
I think she was a really smart, educated homebody, honestly. And she was just living her best life.
Was in a lot of physical pain, it sounds like, just chronically. I can relate to that. And like had experienced a lot of loss. And like if all of that's true in terms of, her wanting to keep her employees paid and like her builders supported and all that stuff, and the like found family and all this, she seems like a very sweet, caring person that just kind of wanted to be left alone.
Yeah, she was like, can you guys just let me live my life?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything to hurt anyone. I'm just being a rad person. All that said, I don't particularly love that they make her seem kind of crazy, but I would say if you're in the area, it's a super interesting, like if you like architecture or anything, it's a super cool place to go. Like, I love an old house tour. That'd
be really cool.
Yeah, it's just like,
I'd love to go see
how
that.
often do you get to see a house, do you get to go into a house that was built in the 1900s? Like 1800s.
And one that's so iconic.
Right. That's like...
moral story, Sarah Winchester was an icon. And just a pretty rad chick. So
End of story.
end of story.
Rip, Sarah. You were a real one.
Rip, rest in peace, Sarah Winchester.
Winchester.
Hi, we're back.
We're back.
Today I have a little story of the Stanley Hotel. And if you know, like, or have ever listened to most popular, like YouTube channels or podcasts that tell spooky stories or like ghost stories, you've probably heard of the Stanley Hotel. So, but I just thought it was fun and interesting. So, yeah, huge, gorgeous, like colonial revival style estate in Estes Park, Colorado, just a few miles from Rocky Mountain National Park. So, this place is beautiful. This place has views.
Views on views.
Views. And of course, it's generated quite a few spooky stories. Plenty of them revolving around room 217 and a lot of other popular areas as well. So, opened in 1909, the Stanley Hotel was established by inventor Freelon Oscar Stanley. I think I said his name right. Freelon.
Okay.
And his wife Flora. So he had made his fortune as an inventor and entrepreneur and was the co-founder of a company that built steam-powered automobiles, the Stanley Motor Carriage Company.
Oh, get it,
Super
Stanley.
fancy, yeah. So Stanley first arrived in the valley in 1903 in pretty bad shape. He was convinced that he was going to pass away due to tuberculosis. So he arrived weak, underweight, and was just having an all-around awful time, and was hoping that the beautiful setting of the valley would do him well, fresh air, all that stuff. And if not, at the very least, provide him with a really lovely place to kind of pass on in. So yeah, he resolved that the fresh air of the Rocky Mountains would do him. Why did I wrote the Rocky Mounts.
Oh, they are mounts.
The Rocky Mounts. So he was like, yeah, fresh air might do me well. So, but it actually did. So by the end of summer, his health actually improved dramatically. And at that point, he'd fallen in love so much with the beauty of the valley that he eventually bought property in Estes Park. Construction of the hotel began in 1907, and the doors opened in 1909 with the intent to create a sort of resort for the upper class and simultaneously be a health retreat for those who had been ill. So,
That's
cool.
cool.
The hotel sports 140 rooms and is equipped with full electricity back then.
Okay.
1909. Full electricity throughout the entire place. Electric lighting, an elevator, telephones, modern bathrooms en suite with full uniformed staffing.
This place was fancy.
Yeah. Stanley even created a new 12-seat steam car to transport people to and from the hotel. So it was all around just like a marvel of that time. Super posh and a pretty and peaceful escape for busy Easterners needing a break. Another thing to mention for shits and giggles, at the time, the cost of the construction was around $500,000. Today, that's about $17 million.
That sounds about right. Oh my god.
I think I pissed myself a little bit when I looked that up. So, yeah, big place, rich guy,
rich behavior.
So here's where some of the crazy starts. So again, the Stanley Hotel was one of the few places powered entirely by electricity due to a hydro plant that Stanley also constructed and also built.
Stanley?
To supply the hotel with electricity. So, but in 1911, a huge thunderstorm cut all the power to the hotel. So the guests were all escorted to the main lobby on the first floor while Stanley had the staff work on installing gas lanterns in each room. But an unexplained gas leak built up in room 217, which was also the presidential suite.
Fitting. Just kidding.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the head chambermaid of the Stanley Hotel, Elizabeth Wilson, unknowingly ended up entering the room and lit a candle, causing an immediate and ginormous explosion that threw her all the way from the room's entrance down to the dining hall on the first floor.
What the hell?
So...
Was she okay?
Miraculously, she survived.
Oh my god. Lizzie.
I know. But the explosion destroyed about 10% of the hotel. She actually returned to work at the Stanley after waking from a coma.
She said, let me do that again.
And she remained working there until 1950.
Wow. Must have been a fun job.
I know. She apparently just really loved it there, I guess. But according to reports from guests and staff, her spirit is still said to inhabit room 217.
Yeah, it does.
Her ghost, or her spirit seems to be a kind one rather than like a spooky, dangerous one. So, like, reports have been made of guests waking up in the room and it being cleaner than it was the night before, their clothes being folded, and things being organized.
Oh my god. I would be so scared, but I'd also be like,
I'd be like, thanks,
thank
Lizzie.
you, Lizzie.
You did not want to fold
vacay a little better.
I know. Thanks. There have also been reports of unmarried couples that are staying in the room, feeling a presence sitting in the bed and trying to push them apart.
Oh my god.
Because if there's one thing Lizzie is, she's a proper lady. So yeah.
Oh
absolute
my
queen,
god.
I think.
Okay, Lizzie.
You know.
A little judgmental, but it's okay.
I know. Get with the times.
Get with the fucking times.
Oh my
god,
goodness.
that's hilarious though.
Yeah. Stephen King also once stayed the night in room 217 with his wife and had a lucid nightmare of his son being chased down the halls, looking over his shoulder and screaming in terror. So he woke up, obviously, panicked,
A lucid
sweating.
nightmare?
A lucid nightmare.
I've heard he had a dream, but that is so terrifying.
Yeah. Woke up, panicking, sweating, had a cigarette. By the time he was done, he started working up The Shining.
Yes.
So, icon.
Absolute icon. Yes.
Yeah. Another source I found mentions that Jim Carrey also once stayed in room 217 while they were at the hotel filming Dumb and Dumber.
Mm-hmm.
But he apparently got so scared at some point that he ran out of the room, like half naked, in the middle of the night, and won't even talk about it. He didn't stay the rest of the time. So
tell all.
Apparently something happened there with
God.
Jim Carrey, and apparently some of the crew also reported that the room gave them like the absolute heebie-jeebies and creeps. So
I'm so
yeah, very interesting.
So interesting that like that's the room Lizzie haunted, right?
Yeah.
That people have had like such dark experiences there.
Yeah. Well, and there are obviously so many sources for the Stanley Hotel and like stories and all this stuff. But a lot of them said that like multiple spirits and like things inhabit the hotel or haunt the hotel. So it could very well be like a thing where that's where Lizzie hangs out. That's where somebody else hangs out too. That's maybe not as cool as she is.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, a little creepy, but yeah. apparently, there's also a hot spot located on the main staircase that is called the Vortex.
Oh, God.
And if y'all don't know what a vortex is, it's typically a sort of paranormal portal where lots of energy is like concentrated in one spot, so it can sort of essentially serve as a passageway between the spirit world and the physical world. So lots of just like concentrated energy. So because of that, the vortex or the main staircase has a lot of reports of sightings and weird occurrences. So in regards to the Stanley's main staircase, there have been sightings of a ghostly woman standing at the top of the stairs. One visitor staying at the hotel in 2016 took some photos of the staircase because it's beautiful, elaborate, amazing design. But when he got home and processed the photos, there was a woman standing there when there was nobody standing there while he was taking photos.
Oh my God. I would be so spooked.
Dude, you know, I feel like maybe it's just from like listening to ghost stories so much, but one, it's kind of like a stereotype or like a common spooky thing to have happen. You take a picture.
Something's
there that wasn't there when you took it. But legitimately, if that happened to me, I would shit myself.
I would more than shit myself.
I would yeah, if that happened to me.
Part of me wants it to happen to me at the same time, though, you know? Okay, hear me out. Would you rather, like, come face to face with a spirit or have it show up in a picture later?
But what's creepy to me is that, like, you can just be chilling or existing in one spot and not know that something's, like, right next to you. And then you look at a picture and there's something fucking right next to you. That, like,
chills.
Freaks me out. I'd rather, like, know something's there.
That's fair.
And see it and be like, bitch, step the fuck back. Step the fuck back.
Very fair.
Either way, I'd piss and shit and cry and barf and vomit.
Exactly.
But
oh my God.
Yeah, so that would be a really creepy thing to experience, especially in like an old hotel. Like, I don't know. Getting back to the story, another mentionable area of the hotel is the attic. So the attic of the 4th floor originally served as the quarters for female employees, children, and nannies back in the day. So nowadays, people have reported, you know, hearing and seeing the closet doors open and close on their own on the 4th floor, hearing children running around, voices, you know, giggling and laughing while they're playing.
No.
So
the thought
can hear
of
that
a ghost child, shiver me timbers.
Shivers her timbers. Yeah, like giggling, laughing, playing, and there have also been sounds of footsteps and furniture being moved around that have been heard on multiple occasions as well. So, attic seems like it's a pretty poppin' place.
The attic? Yeah. She's got some activity.
Yeah. Paul, the ghost of a worker from the hotel, reportedly haunts the concert hall. So there are stories of guests, employees that, you know, they've heard a disembodied voice telling them to get out of the concert hall late at night because
absolutely not.
One of Paul's duties was to enforce a strict 11 p.m. curfew.
Oh my God.
He tells people to get out if they're in there too late.
Imagine being dead and still having to do your job. Absolutely not.
Like, you're not getting paid. You're not.
I mean, unless you really loved your job.
Not don't have to pay taxes though. So.
Well, there we go.
There's a silver lining there, but Flora. If you remember, Flora was Stanley's wife.
Mm-hmm. I love that name.
Flora, yeah. She's also often seen and or heard while playing the piano in the concert hall. So, some backstory there is that the concert hall was built by Stanley as a gift for Flora, and it was supposedly her favorite spot. So it makes sense that she would spend her time there even in the next
that's
life,
sweet.
just like in her favorite spot, playing
Yeah.
songs in a room that her husband devoted to her.
I'm glad that the piano was still there.
That's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Stanley passed away in 1940, but he apparently can also be seen at the bar or in the billiard room. So,
Ooh, he likes a good time.
yeah. Some guests have reported feeling somebody sit on their bed in room 407, but only end up finding an indentation on the covers once they turn the lights on to check.
I would rather see nothing.
Yeah.
No indentation, please.
Yeah.
I'd rather
No
be like,
ghost ass
I'm
indent.
just feeling things.
No. I literally would probably gaslight myself enough to like make myself fall asleep. Because
know
again, like
if I
I
could do that.
freeze. I love spooky shit. I love watching people
From
play
afar.
scary games. But I freeze.
Same.
I can't be the one playing it. I can't be the one in it.
I always wonder what I would do in a situation where there was a ghost or something, paranormal activity or something, really scary.
I think I
Probably
would like
just hide under the covers.
I think I'd lose my shit, honestly. Like if I saw a shadow figure
Okay,
at the end of the
shadow figure
hallway,
can go fuck itself. I'm literally getting
Or,
chills
like-
right now thinking about it.
I don't think I'd do anything. But if I snapped, I'd probably be like, just come fucking kill me right now, you dumb bitch, or get the hell out. I'm tired and I'm scared.
I'm tired and I'm scared.
I'm
I was
scared.
literally just trying to go to bed.
Yeah, like if you're gonna haunt me, don't bother. Either kill me now or get the fuck out. Cause I'm
Either
tired
take
and
over
I'm
my
scared.
body. I'm just kidding. Don't take over my body. Any ghosts that are listening, don't take over my
Don't.
body.
You're not allowed.
I forgot about shadow figures.
No.
Yeah, that's a big fat fucking no.
Paranoia.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, just wrapping up, like there's been the spirits of a golden retriever and a fluffy white cat. Two pets that had been presumably buried in the pet cemetery next to the hotel. They've also been seen all around the property on multiple occasions. So just friendly little...
The cutest ones ever.
I'd probably
too. Golden
bawl.
retriever. Ghost dog?
It would never stop bawling, I don't think.
I would be so sad that I couldn't give
Yeah.
it scritches.
Yeah,
In a little fluffy
honestly.
cat. Oh my
Yeah, the
gosh.
Stanley Hotel, very obviously rich in its history and stories and all that, is considered one of the most famous haunted hotels in America. So take what you will from that. Would you go visit Stanley Hotel? Would you stay the night?
I was gonna say, that is one place that I feel like I would actually stay. I'm not staying in room 217 or nothing.
Or 407. I don't want no ghosts sitting on...
No. A lot of what I've heard about the Stanley Hotel is people having really happy ghostly experiences there, like friendly spirits, good energy.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is one place where I would be willing to try, and it's such a gorgeous area.
Yeah.
And I love history.
Honestly, I would love to go there just for the views and all that. And you're right, like most of the stuff that I saw and sources I was reading from, there aren't really a whole lot of stories of like evil spirits or, poltergeists or things out to get your ass.
Keep
like,
me
it's
away
just...
from the vortex, but
Yeah, but it's mostly just been like, oh, apparitions walking by.
Oh, just a casual apparition. It's
Just
fine.
just like an apparition walking into the billiard room or whatever, or up the stairs. Or
Yeah, I kind of want it. I kind of want to be mildly haunted a little bit, you know?
just mildly by
Maybe not
by
haunted,
a friendly.
yeah,
friendly
a ghost can pass me by. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, fist bump, bro!
Fist bump, bro.
Just like-
oh, what?
Drive by, bam, from the other side.
I can't say that there's many places I would want to stay though. So
Yeah.
Stanley's gonna go on the list.
Stanley. Well, you got to visit the Winchester House. I think that's pretty rad. I'd like to visit there. But Stanley Hotel, I think I could visit there too. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I've seen pictures of it. It's great. I'm also a fan of The Shining, so
Yeah.
I always love visiting, like inspiration for stories.
Let's add that to the movie list because I've also never seen The Shining. No.
It's just one of those things that you're like, you gotta watch it.
It's a classic, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know. A lot of people, okay, I guess this is just a thing, though, with people who read books. It's like, it's not like the book.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
shut
hate
your
that.
damn mouth. No fucking movie is like the book, for the most part.
You can't.
So get over it.
Preach
Hi, I'm Shelley Duvall. She's the one.
Hi, I'm Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
It's good.
So.
But yeah, I think I would like to visit both these places.
Same.
And for, if anything, just to see them.
And I really want to go to Colorado regardless. So
yeah.
I'm like, if I go to Colorado, I'm going to Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
You can try and stop.
Hold me back.
Hold me back.
How dare you. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's, those are our stories for today.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
We hope you found it interesting, found some fun little facts. Maybe you're going to go on a rabbit hole yourself now.
Fun little
facts. I encourage you to look at the Winchester Mystery House website because they've got pictures of some of the rooms and the house itself, so you can get a little sneak peek. I think you can also do like a virtual tour.
What?
Which is sick. I think you have to pay for it, but like
that's rad.
It's kind of cool. So yeah,
that's really cool. Thanks for joining us today and listening to our spooky stories. I hope you're doing okay after all of that.
I hope you're feeling spookier than ever.
In the best way.
I hope you're feeling spooky in the finest sense.
Yes.
And if you guys want to check out our social media, we've got TikTok, Instagram. You can look us up at Rants and Rabbit Trails Pod.
Rants and Rabbit Trails Pod.
Rants and Rabbit Trails.
Oh gosh.
Girl, bye.
Girl, bye.